Hi everyone and welcome. It's been a crazy few weeks, but I am here. I am back. Now we are going to be working on a 12 by 24 inch canvas. I have painted the edges black already, and it is going to be a black and white piece. Well, a black and white background with a great big pop of color. So wait till the end and you can see the entire piece. This won't be a two-parter today. So I need to get my black and white paint down. So we're just using black acrylic, this is Master's Touch, and white acrylic mixed with Floetrol and water, about a 3-to-1 ratio, I would say to that. 3 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint, and I'm going to put those into a cup and get them on the canvas. The plan is to make a wave across the black and white with a really great pop of color. So best laid plans and all that. I'm going ahead and get my paint into my cup, but I am going to be using some of this high gloss medium today in between my black and white, hoping maybe it'll keep them from mixing. You tend to get a lot of gray. The world is definitely not pure black and white. It's lots of gray, and you'll definitely see that when you pour paint. We'll see how that goes. It may just make it mix and flow more, but I've got my black paint in a big old bottle. I'm going to start with a lot of white on the bottom, and then I'm going to be adding my pour medium over the top, my high gloss medium, just to see if it's an extra layer. I doubt that it will be, but I'm always wanting to experiment, and I encourage you to experiment and see what works and what doesn't. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to be pouring my black paint in next, and then alternating black and white till I have a full cup of paint. So that's just the 3 things I'm using today, and I'm guessing that my little hopeful trick is probably not going to work. Maybe GAC 800 would work. I don't know. But if you have ideas on how to make black and white not mix in your cup when you're doing a black and white painting and keeping them separate, let me know down in the comments below. So let's get these paints in the cup so we can get to the good part.
Remember when you said it doesn't get better than this? Only a fool would've let you go. You got into my head. Am I about to lose myself? When will all of this fade away? Cause I see colors for the first time. I'm starting to realize nothing's ever black and white. And I'm caught up in the first night. Now it doesn't feel right. I'll just have to say goodbye one last time. I know that it's hopeless, but we'll both be fine. Cause nothing's ever black and white.
Okay, so I've got my paint in my cup. It looks like I have probably a little too much black. There's a careful balance between black and white when you're doing black and white pieces, and I tend to put too much black almost every time. I've just gone ahead and laid down some paper so that I can catch all my drips and make skins. Now I'm just going to lay this down as sort of a ribbon pour on a diagonal to see how much white I have, and you can see the black is really going to overpower this. So what I'm going to do is add some white, I think, in between these little curves in the ribbon. A lot of my white was down in the bottom, and I should have kept my black to a minimum. I was afraid I wouldn't have enough paint to cover such a big canvas, and you can really see the white now, which this is the way I should have done it to get an even amount of white against the black, because black is overpowering. So I'm just going to torch this, make sure there's no bubbles, which there aren't a lot, because this was pre-mixed paint. I mixed it a couple of weeks ago now at this point. And let's just go ahead and give it a little bit of a tilt just to see if there's any white hiding underneath. And I'm seeing some interesting reactions here, which is probably from the medium that I used, which is causing some of the black to probably even flow more over the white. You know, best laid plans and all of that. I'm going to add some of the white in between in these holes that you see here so that I have a better balance of white with my black. Add a few little streams of the white. Maybe a little bit more here. if I can get it to come out of my bottle. And some kind of clean up some of this white here. It's tending to look a little bit gray where the black is seeping through. And we're going to give this a good tilt. I can always add more black or more white in places once I'm done. You can kind of see the reaction there in the middle, which is interesting in itself, but not exactly what I wanted for this background, but we're going to make it work. Sometimes you just have to make it work. It's your painting. Do what you need to do for it to look the way you want it to look. That is one thing that I have learned in pour painting is you think it's going to turn out right and you think it's going to go one way and it goes a whole other way. And when you're working with a fluid paint, that often happens. Looks like I've got a pretty good balance of white, but I definitely have some gray in there as well. Just reminds us black and white, it's never black and white. There are always shades of gray. More than ever these days, we are seeing that. Okay, I think I'm about done here. Let's put it down and give it a look. Let's see. I'm going to add a little bit more white here where I've got some muddy colors. It's still muddy even if it's black and white. Just adding a little bit more white. And just we'll give it a brief tilt again, but here we go. A little stream of white right there. I wish I could get perfect concentric circles all over this, and maybe I will try that in another video. But this is going to work, I think, for what I want to do, or at least the vision that I have for what I want to do. Now, when you're early on pour painting, there's not always that vision. It's more like, hey, let's see how the paint mixes and how the colors work, and that's great. But as you get on into pour painting, then you're like, let's see what I can do. Let's see what I can make happen. Okay, this is what I have now. You can see I have some reactions in the paint, especially in the middle. But I've got a pretty good marbling effect of black and white throughout. So let's let this dry, and then we'll work on the next part. And here it is. This is the dry result here, and I am going to be using this very tiny dustpan. You may have seen other dustpan pours I've done. I've done them with glow-in-the-dark paints as well. So I'm going to load this pan up, and I made sure that I put a piece of tape over the hole this time, and I'm loading it up with yellow. This is my kind of custom mix, which ends up kind of a primary yellow. And I'm going to be using Purell Red, which is a pretty bright red. I'm wanting super bright colors for this. And then I'm also going to be using Liquitex's Fluorescent Pink, which sometimes gives some cool reactions too. And I think I'm going to use a little bit of Titanium White. Now, these are all fluid paints. You could use pre-mixed paints for this. If I can get my white to come out here. It's being kind of fussy and finicky here. But I think that's all we're going to need. So I'm going to add another layer of yellow, red, and pink. And then we can get this paint right down, right over that black and white. Okay, here we go. I think I'm going to do it from, let's do it from the corner, I think. Okay, maybe this corner will work better. And here's the fun part. Hold your breath, hold your breath. Ooh, okay. I love this. This is so satisfying to do the dustpan before and then right over the top. Uh-oh. Let's go back. Hopefully this works. We're going to add a little bit more paint. I probably shouldn't have done that, but okay. Okay. I think I'm going to stop right there. Oh, I love that bright pop of color over the top. It's awesome. Okay. I don't think I'm going to tilt this. I think this is the way I want it to stay. I want it to have that bright pop of color over the white. The kind of bright hope in the middle of the lack of color. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit over here. A little bit more negative space over here. I'm not crazy about this over here. A little bit of yellow, probably a mistake, but I'm going to do it. Just going to do what I want, do what I feel today. Get a little bit more yellow balance in there. And now I'm just going to give it a good torch. Get a few bubbles when you do it like this, a little bit of the air getting put back in the paint. Okay. I like it. Now, I'm going to clean up a few of my edges here. I don't like how some of my black is bleeding into my white here, and I just want it to look a little bit cleaner and a little less ragged. So I'm just taking my same pour paint in a bottle. Small bottles work great, and I'm just going to clean up and add a little bit of black and do a little bit of cleaning up here so that it can all dry together. I'm going to clean it up over here where I wiped as well, making sure I don't have any color everywhere, that I don't want it. Just add a little bit of black in that gray, a little bit of definition, and I can also add some white back in where I have a little too much gray or my white has grayed out a little bit. I just like contrast. This is all about a play in contrast. So here is what we end up with as the wet result, and I am going to show you the dry result in just a moment. And there it is. It dried beautifully. It didn't run, and you can see it's slightly transparent. You can see some of the black and white underneath it. I really like that effect, actually. And here it is in a little bit better light, the outdoor light on my porch. And hey, I'm liking this one. Here's my cat. I think she likes it too. Hey, baby. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos, check out the videos that you see here. Thanks for watching. Bye now.